Hey everybody, Josh from SILCA here with another hot topic that we are getting a ton of questions about through our email, through the YouTube channel, and even through the Marginal Gains channel. And that is a pretty simple question, but sort of an age-old one, and that is between the Asymmetrico seat roll and the Mattone seat pack. So I think fundamentally, are you a roll person? Are you a pack person? So I've got, this is the awesome SILCA 3T Shimano Race Max. We're going to use this as the demonstrator here to kind of show you the differences, the nuances between them, and maybe help you make a decision for you. Here's how I have been running the Race Max so far this year. I have been using the Mattone, and this is actually my bike, my Mattone, and this, I just want to show you how I have it packed here. So I've got it packed with a venti on top, inside the flap. I am using, this is a gravel-sized Tubolito in a little zip-top bag, and the Tubolitos, you know, they are not my favorite for just general riding. They're fragile is maybe a strong word, but they're not as robust as a latex or a butyl tube. The rolling resistance is only on par with the butyl tube, but they're light, and so people like them. People are using them really every day. You know, running tubeless here, so I don't even need a tube. But if I really, really get stuck, I've got this guy that I can throw in. And the beauty of the Tubolito is it's about a third the size and weight of a traditional spare. So this is a 650 by 2 1/4. Tubolito, and you see it's pretty darn small. And then I'm keeping a Eolo inflator with a single CO2 in there. You can run tire levers. I typically don't myself, although tubeless is a little bit of a different story there, so I might learn that lesson if I get stuck trailside and actually need to put the tube in. So as I'm saying these words, maybe I should throw some tire levers in there. But the Mattone, it's really a perfect size for this. If you're using a road tube, you can actually fit 2 CO2 cartridges in there, and I've got a Tubolito road tube here to show you. It is so nice and small when you are running it as a spare. Oh goodness, that's some complicated packaging that they're using. But let's look at this thing. You can actually fit 2 of these road Tubolitos here in the space of the one gravel tube. So they're just really nice and compact for your spare tube. Something to think about and take a look at when you're packing for you. So get that in there, close my little protective flap. I can put my venti in, I can put the venti under the flap here, or I can put you know, money, credit card, something in there. Zip it up. You know, Mattone is really a perfect road size seat bag that works also on gravel if you're running a compact spare tube. You know, one of the things that's come up with this bag, and I know we got I think Road CC, one of the online places, said, you know, oh, it's a shame that the bag is waterproof material everywhere except on the face. And that's just people not knowing how this stuff works. This face fabric is just the same fabric as this waterproof fabric here, just inverted, so you can see the cool X-weave. But if you were to flip this fabric over, it's waterproof coated just like this one is. We're using YKK AquaGuard zippers. Nothing, you know, nothing short of a dry bag is truly waterproof, but it's extremely water resistant. And then we also, I'm a big fan of these spring-loaded YKK zipper pulls because they just don't flap around and they don't make noise. On this bag, we're also using the Hypalon boa strap, right, with the boa, and it fishes through the saddle or the seat rails like this. Pull it under, and then you really just have to get your cable hooked over, push your boa, tighten it up. And what I really love about this pack is just how tightly and compactly it will fit up against the rails. We'll get some close-ups of that for you so you can see it in the images there. But I mean, it's really just a super robust package. You know, great for really all conditions, but also works really well if you've got like a dropper post or something. You know, you put a couple of plugs and some CO2 and some other things in there, and it really becomes a nice kind of a cross-country mountain or even all-mountain mountain bike pack as well, but it still has that super compact kind of road look and feel to it. So this is if you want a seat pack, if you like this look, if you find it more convenient. The other thing I like about this bag, you know, we've done the zipper on the bottom here so that you can actually get to your multi-tool or your money or your credit card more easily. The BOA actually makes so much force and holds it so tight that if you put the zipper at the top, you can't flex the bag enough to get to your stuff. So you'd actually have to loosen it each time. Whereas here, you need put a couple of bucks, put your multi-tool in there, you know, for that quick pre-ride, you know, things that you might need to get to. You know, if you need to get to your tube and your CO2, you're going all in on the bag. But you could grab that multi-tool for a quick adjustment, grab your credit card or a couple of bucks out, and you don't have to loosen the bag on the saddle. That's the benefit, really, to the seat bag. So let's start looking now at the seat roll. And I've got it here in front of me, and this is how I would pack a seat roll. And what you're going to see is that the seat roll, it grows and shrinks relative to the amount of stuff that you are packing in it. Whereas, you know, the bag here is pretty much always the same size, and, you know, ideally you want it kind of at its most full, and then you can tighten it down and it looks great. With the seat roll, it can kind of expand and contract as needed. So I've got a latex inner tube here, just because it actually works better on camera for you guys to see it than a butyl tube. But it, you know, this is also a 700 by 32 latex tube, so you can see the size. It's actually a pretty big road tube. Two Tubolito spares are smaller than this latex tube, just to give you some idea of what all you can fit into this bag. So in here I've got a gear wipe, which is always a great idea to carry. You know, rip into this, get your hands clean after a flat. And I put my gear wipe and my tube in the center pocket of the bag here, squish it all down. And then I've got 2 tire levers in here. The SILCA tire levers are a perfect fit. 2 CO2 cartridges and an Eolo, and you can see the design is such that the cartridge with the inflator head actually gets a little bit more space down here in that bottom corner than the plain cartridge. And then over here I've got another SILCA Venti multi-tool, which is the biggest multi-tool we make. So if you put like a Tradici or a Novi in there, you're actually going to be even more compact than what we have here. So we've got really a lot of stuff in this Asymmetrico seat roll. And now let's look at, you know, really the key to the seat roll. And I think, you know, when we do get negative feedback or negative reviews on this product, it's typically that somebody's packing it a little, I would say, less than perfectly. You know, the thing with the seat roll is that you really do have to pay attention to the packing and the wrapping. Right, so seat roll is it's letting you drive and make decisions, unlike a seat bag, which is kind of you've got this much space, you're filling it or you're not. With the seat roll, it's really how clever you are and how much time you're willing to spend kind of on your wrap is going to drive how effectively the final package sits on the bike. And so a few extra seconds spent up front will really pay dividends in terms of, 1, how much you can put in it, but 2, how it looks and how it sits on the bike. You know, I know we get a ton of photos from people that say it doesn't work, and you know, with just a little bit more elbow grease and a little bit more tension in the fabric, you can totally change the game. So you can see here we've got a lot of stuff packed into this little roll, and what I'm going to do, you want to pull the top flap down as tight as possible as you are wrapping this bag, because you want the stuff stuffed as far to the bottom as possible in your seat wrap. That's going to give it, make it as compact fore aft as possible. But it also minimizes the gaps everywhere else for things to get into. So I've got it pulled down as tight as possible. I'm going to take the multi-tool flap and go over first with that. And I do that because in the design, you've got the tire lever thickness can now come up the side, and that puts your CO2 cartridges over the top. And so, I'm wrapping it this way, very specifically, making this nice little triangle. Now, the beauty of two CO2 cartridges is that they are right about the exact width of the saddle rails. And so with the two CO2s on top, when you go to tighten it in, those will kind of wedge into the rail, and they just add a bunch of stability for you. So we pull up our bottom flap, and then really you want to pull everything to the bottom. So I am pulling from the top to the bottom to make sure that everything is squished as far to the bottom as possible to keep the wrap as compact as possible. So everything top down when you're wrapping a setup like this. So I've got my roll here, which has quite a bit of stuff in it, a good bit more than I've got in my Mattone. Let's get the Mattone off of here. And so with the seat roll, it's just a little bit of a different strategy. We just take this and really fish it through the back of the rails that way. You want to get your protective rail guard centered up there, and then you are going to give it some tension. Get it nice and clean, and then I'm going to push my boa and I'm going to tighten and turn. And you can see that it allows you a pretty nice compact package. You've got your nice reflective panel here in the back, and everything is really kind of just pulled up there nice and tight. Really doesn't want to move around. When you look at it from the back, you've got a little bit more of sort of like a burrito shape going. But as we look at it, right, I've got the tire levers and an extra CO2 cartridge in here compared to what I had in the Mattone. So, if, say you're looking for a road bag and you want two flats worth of protection, you could go 2 of these Tubolito road tubes in there. 2 CO2 cartridges, 2 tire levers, your gear wipe, and your multi-tool. And like I said, that's the biggest multi-tool we make. You could tighten this up a bit if you went with like a Tradici. It's about 50% thinner than the Venti. So really just wanted to show it kind of at its max capacity for you guys. So there you have it. You've got the Mattone, kind of more traditional seat pack mindset, and then you've got your Asymmetrico. The last thing I'll say, and one of the things I like about a seat roll, is that the seat roll takes the tools and the things that you need to the repair, right? So where the seat bag tends to stay on the bike and you're coming in and out of it, the seat roll, when you have a flat, you actually can pop it, remove it, and now you are taking your toolkit to the flat, right? So I can take this to the ground. If it's your friend's bike, right? You can take it to them and you can kind of open it up, and you have a nice place on the ground or on a tabletop or wherever you're working. You've got a nice work surface to work from. We do this nice high visibility red interior so you can see all your stuff in there. But it really does make for a nice little portable toolkit with the kit going to the flat. Last thing I'll say, we've been getting a ton of questions about this, and so I'm going to pull out and shoot a little bit of close-up B-roll, but we just hit 1,000 kilometers on the 3T SILCA Shimano Racemax, and we have used for the 1,000K. You can see it's pretty dusty. We've been riding quite a bit of single track and gravel road as well as road, so it's probably about 500K road and about 500K of gravel and honestly probably another 100 kilometers of single track and just beautiful off-road. Most of it dry, had a little bit of a couple of wet drizzly rides in it, but mostly dry and dusty. And what I'm going to do is hone in right here and just show you the close-up of this chain. This chain was secret chain blend, hot dipped in the beginning, and then every 200 kilometers it has been topped off with the super secret chain lube. And in between there, we have wiped it with the SILCA microfiber cloth that has also been getting some phenomenal feedback from all of you. So thank you. So really, I mean, as easy as it could be. Finish a ride, wipe it through the microfiber cloth, put the super secret on, and that way it is dry for the next ride. But I think the thing I really want everybody to see is just how amazingly clean, I mean, even to the touch, that this chain is for what it's been through. 1,000 kilometers of dusty riding. You can see how dirty the rest of the bike is. I just really love that clean to touch, and the fact that there's no dirt in it. I mean, it still runs incredibly quietly. You can hear just almost no chain noise at all. But while I've got it here in the studio, I'm actually going to pull it off since it's at its 1000K, run it through the hot ultrasound, back through the wax again, and then we will start the process all over once again. So there you have it. Little update on the wax. Asymmetrico or Mattone, which one are you riding, or which one do you think you prefer? Right after you give us a like down below, please leave us a comment. If you have any questions, leave those as well, and we will try to get to them in our next episode. Thanks for watching.